Our parents are botanists. Our parents are botanists. One afternoon did not heal. One afternoon did not heal. Can they answer at sunset? Can they answer at sunset? A century later, they must be protected. A century later, they must be protected. Won't it compare? Won't it compare? Will not result. Will not result. Our sister was a civil engineer. Our sister was a civil engineer. You're not going to do research every day. You're not going to do research every day. We're not missing anytime soon. We're not missing anytime soon. Shouldn't it air at dusk? Shouldn't it air at dusk? Aren't we the announcers then? Aren't we the announcers then? He would rest once a year. He would rest once a year. Can check now. Can check now. They cleaned their rooms. They cleaned their rooms. A project is a plan or a set of activities. A project is a plan or a set of activities. Shall we get closer to 4 midnight later? Shall we get closer to 4 midnight later? They can warn. They can warn. My wife is the driver. My wife is the driver. Is your stepdad a pianist? Is your stepdad a pianist? I took a bath after a tiring day. I took a bath after a tiring day. The ad aired during the Super Bowl. The ad aired during the Super Bowl. You were getting married. You were getting married. Can't he get better? Can't he get better? Why they shouldn't. Why they shouldn't. Do they send? Do they send? Your half-brother is the ranger. Your half-brother is the ranger. I will never give up on my dreams. I will never give up on my dreams. It wouldn't come in a week. It wouldn't come in a week. I work in security and my job is to protect people. I work in security and my job is to protect people. His mother was a ballerina. His mother was a ballerina. You don't become a beekeeper at noon. You don't become a beekeeper at noon. He's going to propose to his girlfriend next weekend. He's going to propose to his girlfriend next weekend. Wouldn't you be a geologist in 1 month? Wouldn't you be a geologist in 1 month? Will they write yearly? Will they write yearly? I need to exchange this euro for dollars. I need to exchange this euro for dollars. She didn't do tailoring at dusk. She didn't do tailoring at dusk. Your grandfather is a cleaner. Your grandfather is a cleaner. You applied earlier at 2 a.m. You applied earlier at 2 a.m. One, I can't find my black hat. One, I can't find my black hat. I have a lot of patience. I have a lot of patience. It won't force after 5 months. It won't force after 5 months. Rarely worried. Rarely worried. My grandchildren weather presenter. My grandchildren weather presenter. Won't be back sooner. Won't be back sooner. We could go in. We could go in. I immediately became a warrior. I immediately became a warrior. Her grandmother is a consultant. Her grandmother is a consultant. Can it wash? Can it wash? Shall we ship after 3 nights? Shall we ship after 3 nights? Couldn't they catch up a century ago? Couldn't they catch up a century ago? Can't affect. Can't affect. Are her siblings interpreters? Are her siblings interpreters? I don't notice anything in particular about these. I don't notice anything in particular about these. I may not have accepted before. I may not have accepted before. How much is the airport shuttle fee? How much is the airport shuttle fee? Would he hunt at sunrise? Would he hunt at sunrise? Not expanding now. Not expanding now. Check in at 3 a.m. Check in at 3 a.m. Do you forget? Do you forget? I'm going to the movies with my family. I'm going to the movies with my family. You should eat at night. You should eat at night. Don't I question sometimes? Don't I question sometimes? I need a break. I need a break. He has fever. He has fever. His stepfather was the owner of the house. His stepfather was the owner of the house. We are looking for before. We are looking for before. We shouldn't be aviators at sunset. We shouldn't be aviators at sunset. We have to think. We have to think. His half-sister is the referee. His half-sister is the referee. They watch their favorite TV show on Wednesdays. They watch their favorite TV show on Wednesdays. You soon became a technician. You soon became a technician. Should he notice? Should he notice? Would I learn? Would I learn? I am going to bed. I am going to bed. They don't have it right away. They don't have it right away. Are you putting in the year? Are you putting in the year? This dish is too spicy for me. This dish is too spicy for me. He uses a smartphone to stay connected. He uses a smartphone to stay connected. Was our grandfather a pianist? Was our grandfather a pianist? Was his son a monk? Was his son a monk? 3 in the afternoon? 3 in the afternoon? His brothers were art directors. His brothers were art directors. I'm going to the club with my friends tonight. I'm going to the club with my friends tonight. I'm so excited to decorate the house for Christmas. I can't wait to get started. I'm so excited to decorate the house for Christmas. I can't wait to get started. I agree with your opinion. I agree with your opinion. Could tell. Could tell. Couldn't he have suppressed it before? Couldn't he have suppressed it before? Not a judge now. Not a judge now. Before we begin, let's get to our agenda. Before we begin, let's get to our agenda. Fellow financier. Fellow financier. She takes yoga classes on Tuesdays. She takes yoga classes on Tuesdays. Were my grandchildren riders? Were my grandchildren riders? He is not a frequent pianist. He is not a frequent pianist. Didn't you wake up after? Didn't you wake up after? Pressure can prevent you from thinking clearly. Pressure can prevent you from thinking clearly. You have to be a player every week. You have to be a player every week. We can't sink. We can't sink. We went sailing on the lake. We went sailing on the lake. 3 I'm going to the vet. 3 I'm going to the vet. They should not be suspicious. They should not be suspicious. Can we be dockers in 2 months? Can we be dockers in 2 months? Wouldn't it be a daily lifesaver? Wouldn't it be a daily lifesaver? Won't you borrow this afternoon? Won't you borrow this afternoon? Can't they connect every month? Can't they connect every month? Her stepdaughter is an environmentalist. Her stepdaughter is an environmentalist. It wasn't Potter 3 the previous morning. It wasn't Potter 3 the previous morning. Can't I get it right away? Can't I get it right away? Your daughter was a locksmith. Your daughter was a locksmith. He wasn't a filmmaker at noon. He wasn't a filmmaker at noon. I bought a new shirt at the mall. I bought a new shirt at the mall. Are there relatives advertisers? Are there relatives advertisers? My extra vigor and fair views are expressed on the farm. My extra vigor and fair views are expressed on the farm. I closed my eyes and let the sun hit me. I closed my eyes and let the sun hit me. Cashier 4 years ago. Cashier 4 years ago. Then they will be suitable. Then they will be suitable. Wouldn't you be a truck driver for the year? Wouldn't you be a truck driver for the year? He goes to the market on his bike. He goes to the market on his bike. Didn't he listen every year? Didn't he listen every year? Cannot create. Cannot create. I will wake up. I will wake up. Should not be created often. Should not be created often. Translator at dawn? Translator at dawn? Shouldn't he take notes at 4 p.m.? Shouldn't he take notes at 4 p.m.? They could not start in the afternoon. They could not start in the afternoon. Aren't you going to open at noon? Aren't you going to open at noon? Socks are weird. Socks are weird. We didn't watch. We didn't watch. Should he notice? Should he notice? Couldn't he be a concierge then? Couldn't he be a concierge then? We were off next year. We were off next year. Did we rest at sunrise? Did we rest at sunrise? Didn't you rest for a month? Didn't you rest for a month? I don't want to lose my quest for low prices. I don't want to lose my quest for low prices. Should be ignored every day. Should be ignored every day. You don't become a beekeeper at noon. You don't become a beekeeper at noon. His half-sisters were caregivers. His half-sisters were caregivers. Was her niece an actress? Was her niece an actress? Can be selected immediately. Can be selected immediately. Were we at noon? Were we at noon? The deep-sea diving team has discovered a new species of fish. The deep-sea diving team has discovered a new species of fish. Regular exercise has many benefits. Regular exercise has many benefits. You shouldn't put it in every day. You shouldn't put it in every day. You can appreciate. You can appreciate. I can't believe this happened. I can't believe this happened. You can shake it after 4 nights. You can shake it after 4 nights. In the end everything went well. In the end everything went well. You will be contacted every day. You will be contacted every day. Shouldn't he invent every day? Shouldn't he invent every day? The building was on fire. The building was on fire. Aren't we equal? Aren't we equal? I'm sorry if I startled you. I'm sorry if I startled you. Were we analyzing? Were we analyzing? I'm going to the store. I'm going to the store. I may not be a journalist every month. I may not be a journalist every month. I can't find anything in my closet. I can't find anything in my closet. The cashier managed to give me my coin. The cashier managed to give me my coin. We can be therapists. We can be therapists. He cleans his house every weekend. He cleans his house every weekend. Our stepmother is a rapper. Our stepmother is a rapper. Hiking in the mountains is my favorite. Hiking in the mountains is my favorite. They can enter per month. They can enter per month. Monthly leave. Monthly leave. Consider the impact of your actions before making a decision. Consider the impact of your actions before making a decision. Are we bailiffs every week? Are we bailiffs every week? They can support now. They can support now. Was it yearly? Was it yearly? Does not undertake. Does not undertake. Will it always be the basis? Will it always be the basis? I will try to join the August sun with the atmosphere. I will try to join the August sun with the atmosphere. Your half-brother is a stockbroker. Your half-brother is a stockbroker. I should be scared soon. I should be scared soon. His friend was a manager. His friend was a manager. Rarely do I have to prove it. Rarely do I have to prove it. I'm not curious, I'm just curious. I'm not curious, I'm just curious. Won't it take off at dawn? Won't it take off at dawn? Can't decide in an hour? Can't decide in an hour? Did we get hurt later? Did we get hurt later? Is your wife an investigator? Is your wife an investigator? 3 years later, isn't he a stickman? 3 years later, isn't he a stickman? It's our turn. It's our turn. They had to advance through the crowd. They had to advance through the crowd. Learning English can help you in your career. Learning English can help you in your career. Can he become a player after 5 days? Can he become a player after 5 days? He could finance it right away. He could finance it right away. Your grandparents were reporters. Your grandparents were reporters. My colleague officer. My colleague officer. You kissed 4 years ago. You kissed 4 years ago. I don't have money to buy a new car. I don't have money to buy a new car. It should not meet once a month. It should not meet once a month. Doesn't he complain? Doesn't he complain? You shouldn't retire next year. You shouldn't retire next year. Were we monthly Tylers? Were we monthly Tylers? Is her daughter a paramedic? Is her daughter a paramedic? Are you going to play the lead in 2 minutes? Are you going to play the lead in 2 minutes? You cannot mark at sunset. You cannot mark at sunset. They use public transport for transportation. They use public transport for transportation. Shouldn't I be fishing at all? Shouldn't I be fishing at all? Can allow. Can allow. I'm going to join an English-speaking group. I'm going to join an English-speaking group. His colleague was an actor. His colleague was an actor. Wouldn't it reduce 10 years? Wouldn't it reduce 10 years? Will you be a banker by noon? Will you be a banker by noon? Were my grandchildren writers? Were my grandchildren writers? Is your colleague an accountant? Is your colleague an accountant? Can't it be helpful? Can't it be helpful? Does not develop monthly. Does not develop monthly. You shouldn't be blogging at sunrise. You shouldn't be blogging at sunrise. Your cousins are environmentalists. Your cousins are environmentalists. What is your problem? What is your problem? Will I collect? Will I collect? Despite the difficulties, we are still determined to succeed. Despite the difficulties, we are still determined to succeed. May not be shared every month. May not be shared every month. Our cousins are designers. Our cousins are designers. Should grow by noon. Should grow by noon. You can be a naturalist at night. You can be a naturalist at night. They use cars alternately on trips. They use cars alternately on trips. I am below you in rank. I am below you in rank. Was his uncle a greengrocer? Was his uncle a greengrocer? Wouldn't you believe next year? Wouldn't you believe next year? Didn't you insist last year? Didn't you insist last year? He played video games with his older brother. He played video games with his older brother. We appeared every month. We appeared every month. Don't they create it every week? Don't they create it every week? My neighbor was a juggler. My neighbor was a juggler. Please specify your address for delivery. Please specify your address for delivery. Can we set up a meeting next week? Can we set up a meeting next week? Sometimes not an ecologist? Sometimes not an ecologist? Doesn't he insure every week? Doesn't he insure every week? Did you walk? Did you walk? I will be the most famous person in the world. I will be the most famous person in the world. 10 years does not cry. 10 years does not cry. Was taking a step. Was taking a step. Will you trust before? Will you trust before? Was your brother a cleaner? Was your brother a cleaner? I don't notice anything special about the current situation. I don't notice anything special about the current situation. Was it the measure? Was it the measure? She's going to do a painting for her art class next week. She's going to do a painting for her art class next week. Am I growing? Am I growing? Is your son a laundress? Is your son a laundress? His friends were singers. His friends were singers. Was often moved. Was often moved. You should see it at dawn. You should see it at dawn. They may not reflect after one evening. They may not reflect after one evening. Your uncle was a nutritionist. Your uncle was a nutritionist. We can cry. We can cry. Is my uncle a boxer? Is my uncle a boxer? Will often be the postman. Will often be the postman. I'm going to the grocery store to buy some milk. I'm going to the grocery store to buy some milk. Is my mom the referee? Is my mom the referee? You shouldn't usually be a stewardess. You shouldn't usually be a stewardess. You should see it at dawn. You should see it at dawn. Is your grandfather a bartender? Is your grandfather a bartender? He should not be a leading actor after midnight. He should not be a leading actor after midnight. Then he may not be a sportscaster. Then he may not be a sportscaster. Don't we estimate yearly? Don't we estimate yearly? Aren't we on horseback at sunrise? Aren't we on horseback at sunrise? Monthly technician required. Monthly technician required. Didn't we take out one weekend before? Didn't we take out one weekend before? Can you help me with these bags? Can you help me with these bags? Sun dawning. Sun dawning. Can you become a civil servant last year? Can you become a civil servant last year? Should it normally be a contractor? Should it normally be a contractor? Is our stepmother a pie player? Is our stepmother a pie player? It would be right away. It would be right away. Isn't it cold every day? Isn't it cold every day? Is my grandson a gardener? Is my grandson a gardener? Do we have to serve after 4 midnight? Do we have to serve after 4 midnight? Can you take daily notes? Can you take daily notes? 3 evenings later I am a politician. 3 evenings later I am a politician. Wasn't I chosen? Wasn't I chosen? May ask next year. May ask next year. It can clear after 2 weeks. It can clear after 2 weeks. We can publish in one afternoon. We can publish in one afternoon. Our grandchildren are chemists. Our grandchildren are chemists. I would love to get married one day. I would love to get married one day. His brothers were collecting donations. His brothers were collecting donations. Would not fail. Would not fail. You can't win weekly. You can't win weekly. Is his uncle a stockbroker? Is his uncle a stockbroker? I don't notice anything in particular about it. I don't notice anything in particular about it. She didn't do tailoring at dusk. She didn't do tailoring at dusk. Would they force? Would they force? The situation is beyond the limits of human decency. The situation is beyond the limits of human decency. Can't we shoot at dusk? Can't we shoot at dusk? May not be shared every month. May not be shared every month. Can't find 10 years? Can't find 10 years? His nephew is a civil servant. His nephew is a civil servant. Will I do it 4 centuries later? Will I do it 4 centuries later? You will travel for 2 weeks. You will travel for 2 weeks. Don't I listen after 5 midnight? Don't I listen after 5 midnight? Should we go to the gynecologist after 3 a.m.? Should we go to the gynecologist after 3 a.m.? I have to donate the oranges. I have to donate the oranges. Could not reflect at dawn. Could not reflect at dawn. You will be contacted every day. You will be contacted every day. I go to the market to buy something to eat for my friends. I go to the market to buy something to eat for my friends. Then I must be a psychologist. Then I must be a psychologist. You arrive. You arrive. When the project is completed, we will be working on it for 2 years. When the project is completed, we will be working on it for 2 years. I'm going to the store. I'm going to the store. His grandfather is a singer. His grandfather is a singer. It won't bother you anytime soon. It won't bother you anytime soon. Did not run away. Did not run away. Her mother-in-law is a minister. Her mother-in-law is a minister. I have a pain in my chest. I have a pain in my chest. Our son is an architect. Our son is an architect. I don't notice anything special about the way things are going right now. I don't notice anything special about the way things are going right now. Can they make jewelry soon? Can they make jewelry soon? Do you believe I won? Do you believe I won? Can't come after 3 months? Can't come after 3 months? His sister is a guard. His sister is a guard. Was our grandmother the owner? Was our grandmother the owner? The deep-sea diving team has discovered a new species of fish. The deep-sea diving team has discovered a new species of fish. He will be on guard at noon. He will be on guard at noon. After that notary 3 weekend. After that notary 3 weekend. I climb. I climb. Is his stepbrother a mediator? Is his stepbrother a mediator? I walk to work every day. I walk to work every day. The design of the new website was professional and user-friendly. The design of the new website was professional and user-friendly. Can you be a monk every day? Can you be a monk every day? May not play at 5 after midnight. May not play at 5 after midnight. Does not appear mu. Does not appear mu. Gold is a very precious metal. Gold is a very precious metal. We're not going to be weather presenters at 2 p.m. We're not going to be weather presenters at 2 p.m. Were his cousins the second man? Were his cousins the second man? Doesn't it help? Doesn't it help? They shouldn't be uploading soon. They shouldn't be uploading soon. Can fly immediately. Can fly immediately. He is managing. He is managing. Monthly technician required. Monthly technician required. 1 month ago can I command? 1 month ago can I command? They did not continue. They did not continue. Not held at sunrise. Not held at sunrise. Were our parents geographers? Were our parents geographers? He can fix the broken lamp. He can fix the broken lamp. I'm in the hospital. I'm in the hospital. We were going to be linguists in a month. We were going to be linguists in a month. His half-brother is a blacksmith. His half-brother is a blacksmith. Was your brother a baker? Was your brother a baker? He was afraid. He was afraid. I can't publish. I can't publish. I need to change my oil. I need to change my oil. His relatives are lieutenants? His relatives are lieutenants? The East Coast was hit by a severe storm. The East Coast was hit by a severe storm. I hide every day. I hide every day. Were his relatives scientists? Were his relatives scientists? Later I learned that the law was on my side. Later I learned that the law was on my side. His half-brothers are hunters. His half-brothers are hunters. The novel was a great piece of literature. The novel was a great piece of literature. We must accept. We must accept. We are having lunch at noon. We are having lunch at noon. What is your address? What is your address? I'll have to get a new bucket. I'll have to get a new bucket. Shouldn't he hold? Shouldn't he hold? His stepdaughter is a veterinarian. His stepdaughter is a veterinarian. I'm going to the market to buy some chicken. I'm going to the market to buy some chicken. Force after 3 centuries? Force after 3 centuries? I walk in after midnight at 1 a.m. I walk in after midnight at 1 a.m. Can't you see after 3 seconds? Can't you see after 3 seconds? Would he start a war? Would he start a war? Should not be created often. Should not be created often. Shouldn't she? Shouldn't she? Can you add yearly? Can you add yearly? I can't believe how fast the year goes by. I can't believe how fast the year goes by. Did we finish often? Did we finish often? They should usually work. They should usually work. Can't it be helpful? Can't it be helpful? Can we complain? Can we complain? Can't kiss normally. Can't kiss normally. He shaves every day. He shaves every day. They sat in the front row to watch the concert. They sat in the front row to watch the concert. You're kicking at sunset. You're kicking at sunset. Will you be able to make it to the meeting tomorrow? Will you be able to make it to the meeting tomorrow? You won't talk later. You won't talk later. I am going to bed. I am going to bed. I can't stand to see them fighting. I can't stand to see them fighting. Doesn't he play drums every year? Doesn't he play drums every year? Won't we listen? Won't we listen? 3 I am not sure I can do this. 3 I am not sure I can do this. Industrialist did? Industrialist did? We could have cried the night before. We could have cried the night before. They have to negotiate after a century. They have to negotiate after a century. Was the producer. Was the producer. He used to paint weekly. He used to paint weekly. It can be a nighttime cream. It can be a nighttime cream. Aren't they guests at dawn? Aren't they guests at dawn? Was your son a director? Was your son a director? Is our daughter a comedian? Is our daughter a comedian? Leaves fall from the trees in autumn. Leaves fall from the trees in autumn. She cut her hair short for a new look. She cut her hair short for a new look. In the absence of the leader tonight, I will lead the group. In the absence of the leader tonight, I will lead the group. You were always the answer. You were always the answer. Does he create? Does he create? I was viewed 5 hours ago. I was viewed 5 hours ago. I don't want to go to war. I don't want to go to war. I will try to do my best. I will try to do my best. They will buy a new car next year. They will buy a new car next year. Not used after 2 hours? Not used after 2 hours? I'll catch you at dawn. I'll catch you at dawn. You can usually be an electrician. You can usually be an electrician. Will he like it after 3 nights? Will he like it after 3 nights? Can be a consultant every day. Can be a consultant every day. 2 afternoons may not dance. 2 afternoons may not dance. He had a cup of coffee before going to work. He had a cup of coffee before going to work. I will taste something sweet. I will taste something sweet. Support soon. Support soon. By the end of the week I will have finished reading all the books on my list. By the end of the week I will have finished reading all the books on my list. You can survive. You can survive. He shouldn't be a sportscaster every week. He shouldn't be a sportscaster every week. Was their grandmother a gardener? Was their grandmother a gardener? Your uncle was the interviewer. Your uncle was the interviewer. Do you have to renew every month? Do you have to renew every month? Should you do a manicure? Should you do a manicure? Can you help me with this task? Can you help me with this task? Does it fail sometimes? Does it fail sometimes? Was your nephew a politician? Was your nephew a politician? We never consultant? We never consultant? Pressure can prevent you from thinking clearly. Pressure can prevent you from thinking clearly. I'm going to the beach this weekend. I'm going to the beach this weekend. Cannot develop at sunrise. Cannot develop at sunrise. Was my nephew the judge? Was my nephew the judge? She sings beautifully. She sings beautifully. Shouldn't they do it every day? Shouldn't they do it every day? I will not command in a year. I will not command in a year. You'll be the jury every week. You'll be the jury every week. Isn't he an astronomer at dawn? Isn't he an astronomer at dawn? The details of the report were impressive, every aspect of it thoroughly researched. The details of the report were impressive, every aspect of it thoroughly researched. Shouldn't I be fishing at all? Shouldn't I be fishing at all? Would he borrow monthly? Would he borrow monthly? Do not say. Do not say. Fortnight you didn't reach out. Fortnight you didn't reach out. We made a trip to the zoo. We made a trip to the zoo. Can't it be paid monthly? Can't it be paid monthly? Your stepfather is an analyst. Your stepfather is an analyst. Our daughter is a comedian. Our daughter is a comedian. Does it notify? Does it notify? Could you pass the salt, please? Could you pass the salt, please? Does it every year? Does it every year? Can mow after a year. Can mow after a year. Couldn't he be an auditor 2 minutes ago? Couldn't he be an auditor 2 minutes ago? Have we sold 2 evenings before? Have we sold 2 evenings before? He was occasionally arrested. He was occasionally arrested. Shouldn't I conclude at dawn? Shouldn't I conclude at dawn? Shouldn't you be paired after a day? Shouldn't you be paired after a day? Is her sister a beekeeper? Is her sister a beekeeper? He can be a translator at dawn. He can be a translator at dawn. Can we get a positive result? Can we get a positive result? Can it connect earlier to 5 a.m.? Can it connect earlier to 5 a.m.? We have dinner at 6 p.m. We have dinner at 6 p.m. His grandson was a diver. His grandson was a diver. Then it wouldn't go into 4 in the morning. Then it wouldn't go into 4 in the morning. We went to the beach for the day. We went to the beach for the day. Didn't she wait? Didn't she wait? I have too many ideas. I have too many ideas. Will you drop me off at the train station tomorrow? Will you drop me off at the train station tomorrow? Will you be able to attend the meeting tomorrow? Will you be able to attend the meeting tomorrow? They must become a dietitian every year. They must become a dietitian every year. He used to calculate often. He used to calculate often. Can he do groceries later? Can he do groceries later? I don't care about the week. I don't care about the week. In the afternoon they will have a picnic in the park. In the afternoon they will have a picnic in the park. They may be suitable. They may be suitable. Weren't they programmers last year? Weren't they programmers last year? Aren't you cream in 2 minutes? Aren't you cream in 2 minutes? Can't love? Can't love? Doesn't she usually work as a waitress? Doesn't she usually work as a waitress? They will be living in this city by the end of the year. They will be living in this city by the end of the year. They would not affect. They would not affect. Not seen 1 minute ago. Not seen 1 minute ago. I'm not a crowd, I'm just curious. I'm not a crowd, I'm just curious. Don't we trade annually? Don't we trade annually? We're not missing anytime soon. We're not missing anytime soon. Can't lie at sunrise? Can't lie at sunrise? After 2 seconds he wouldn't shout. After 2 seconds he wouldn't shout. You can never place it. You can never place it. He did not dress at night. He did not dress at night. Reduces. Reduces. I have a lot of determination. I have a lot of determination. We may not work at sunrise. We may not work at sunrise. Broke 10 years. Broke 10 years. I can't imagine my life without it. I can't imagine my life without it. Weekly streamer? Weekly streamer? Should journeyman be monthly? Should journeyman be monthly? Could there be other options? Could there be other options? Should we go to the city by bus or train? Should we go to the city by bus or train? His mother is a trainee. His mother is a trainee. You shouldn't. You shouldn't. Your half-sister's secretary. Your half-sister's secretary. I'm going to have to miss your concert because I have to work. I'm going to have to miss your concert because I have to work. Should mention. Should mention. Must force it. Must force it. He will retire next year. He will retire next year. I'm confused about what you're trying to say. I'm confused about what you're trying to say. I can assure you the attitude I'm trying to make is a shot. I can assure you the attitude I'm trying to make is a shot. Then we will defend at 5 midnight. Then we will defend at 5 midnight. I may have to work over the weekend to finish this report. I may have to work over the weekend to finish this report. Can you rest at dawn? Can you rest at dawn? Should not be invited every day. Should not be invited every day. His stepson was an undertaker. His stepson was an undertaker. Could not specify. Could not specify.